Baseball truth, you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free, both mentally and physically. Welcome to this week's episode, sponsored by Baseballism. Go to baseballism.com. Check out that hat. Check out this shirt, yard work. How many of you guys get the yard work done on the field? This week's episode is all about something that I get on a weekly basis, maybe on a daily basis, from players all across the country. Hey, coach, I just can't seem to get it done in a game. I do everything right in BP, but I just can't get the in-game results that I want. Do you smash in BP, but are overwhelmed by the situation of a game setting? Do you hit well in practice, in inter squads or whatever, but just can't get it done in a game? Do you barrel everything up off the tee, maybe soft toss, front toss, maybe off your coach, in your pregame BP, but can't get it done in a game? Then this video is for you. And it's the answer to this question that I get is, how do I get it done? It's simple. It's not your swing that gets it done. In fact, thinking about your swing during those times probably makes it more challenging and makes it worse, because if you're not performing in the game like you can in practice, then there's something more mental going on. There's something more with your reactive principles going on and your vision than it is your swing. So if you're crushing in a cage and you're feeling really good, and then all of a sudden in a game, I guarantee your swing's not breaking down. It's your mentality that's probably breaking down, or your lack of plan and approach. But the number one thing I want you guys to understand, if you want better in-game results, and this is something that's no one's fault, it's something that's just out there all over the country, is you have to make your BP more challenging on a regular basis. If you're not making your BP more challenging on a regular basis, you're losing out on the reactive part, where you're actually increasing your ability to react to the ball quicker. You're missing out on the confidence building part in your everyday BP, and you're missing out on trying to get the BP stuff done more challenging than what the game is, so when you go into the game, you feel more confident with what you do. So if you can get more challenging game-like repetitions on a regular basis, it just makes the game slow down a little bit when you actually get in there. So the ways to do that are pretty simple. You have to find a way in all scenarios, because a lot of people don't have access to machines or cool technology stuff that's out there. So you have to be creative with it. If you do have a machine, get off the machine, set that sucker up on nasty sliders away, fastballs hard in and away, and go all over the place and work on it. If you don't have access to machines, do challenging front toss. A lot of times I go all over the place, and this front toss is like super duper slow, and the coach is saying, hey, let the ball travel. And then they get into the game and they're letting the ball travel, and they can't catch up because the velocity is just overwhelming them. So everything from soft toss to live toss to wiffle balls are great. Kids these days don't play enough wiffle ball. Get wiffle balls and throw that sucker as hard as you can from 15, 20 feet, and try to react and try to adjust to it. There's ways to get the challenging game-like repetitions if you're aware of it. And I promise you this, if you could get daily BP repetitions more challenging, you're going to figure it out more in a game without thinking about your swing at all. And this is something that we did as kids. This is something that we did in college. In college, we had 6 cages lined up, and we had a machine in every cage doing something different. We had left-handed curveball, right-handed slider, right-handed fastball, sink, whatever. And we just went from cage to cage to cage, and we just hit. Our coach would sit there and tell us how bad we sucked. Ed Sheff at Lewis Clark State, shout out to Ed. And he would just basically have us figure it out. He didn't tell me to do this or do that with my swing. And at first it was overwhelming. At first it sucked. I was like, man, I hate this. I hate getting jammed. I hate hitting off the end of the bat. This hurts. But as you did it over and over and over, your brain, your eyes, your body figured it out. And the most important thing that I remember from it is I would go into a game thinking, man, this pitcher is like, he's 88, but it feels like it's like 78. It slowed the game down tremendously, which in turn created confidence for us. So again, you're not going to have access most of the time to 6 machines lined up. You have to get creative with it. But if you want better in-game results, you got to learn to make your practices harder. Another thing that helps too is, how many times are you in a setting where you just show up and you do soft toss and you do tee work, there's no pressure, there's no anxiety, and then you get into the game and all of a sudden the crowd's there, the coach is there, the spotlight's on you, and you're overwhelmed by the situation. Find a way in your daily BP to get in some pressurized environments. We try to do this all the time. We try to get kids around the cage. We try to get kids around, making noise. We put a lot of loud music on to get the hitter to focus in a game environment with some pressure. And if you do that regularly too, it just becomes more natural when you get into the games and you won't be overwhelmed by the pressure. So the point of this video is just to make you aware that if you're struggling in games, it's probably not your swing. There's some situations where, you know, your swing might be having a problem, but usually your swing is a byproduct of bad vision, pitch recognition, timing, awareness of what the ball's moving, and then you see what you see with your swing. So be aware that it's probably not your swing, and if you're always going, you know, into the dugout thinking about your swing, if you're going after the game doing stuff to focus on your swing, if you're showing up early focusing off the tee, off your swing, then you're probably going to have the same problem until you learn to get more challenging game-like repetitions. So if you don't have access to it, get creative. Find ways to see the ball move at a higher rate of speed, to see challenging movements, to see better than game-like speeds and velocities will actually help you in a game too as well. And if you can do that somehow, I promise you'll feel more confident going into your at-bats. And I promise you'll slow the game down as far as your vision and your pitch recognition. You'll be able to see the ball better. You watch any big leaguer, and they get asked, hey, what are you doing well during this time that you feel like you're on fire? And they all will say, I'm seeing the ball well. So if you're not working on seeing the ball well, seeing the ball quicker, then your in-game stuff is just going to struggle a little bit. So next time you think about, hey, what's wrong with my in-game stuff? Think about, am I getting enough challenging repetitions? You must train in such a way that the game slows down and the game is actually easier. Get it done. God bless.